Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Dip in Time, along with Sparkle Sanctuary.
Hello.
We are here to talk about CPTSD awareness. Oh, sorry. That was my cover miner connecting. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Anyways, how are you? How are you, Rebecca?
Did you ask me?
Yes, I am asking you.
Oh, sorry. I'm doing fine. I'm okay. You know, we all have ups and downs, and there's some stuff going on at work, and it kind of bums me out. But you know, at the end of the day, it'll be okay. I'll be fine. So today I am just processing.
Yeah. Processing can be a challenge. Oh. I'm kind of in that stuck processing moment myself.
Yeah.
It is warm here, and yet it's not warm. And when I'm warm, I have a hard time focusing. But that's
yes.
Okay. So we are working on this beautiful little canvas, Love in Every Hue by Carrie Illustrations from Unimade. I got my first row done.
You are so good.
I got it done. Yay! So I have to admit. No, go ahead.
This square over here, that's the square I was working on last week.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. And I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of noise because I'm trying to reorganize myself. I go like this. Things are just not. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. Okay, think about this, Rhonda. So last time we talked, we were talking about CPTSD awareness, and we were talking about how CPTSD, complex PTSD, differs from PTSD. And we had some really good conversation around that. And as we ended our talk last week, we did a visual exercise for grounding. And it was very helpful. We also recognized that not everybody is able to visualize. So at the end of our time today, Rebecca's going to show us or share with us a way of grounding in a different way without visualizations. Tonight, I thought we thought, let me get this correct, we thought we would have a conversation about something that is quite common with complex PTSD, and that is something that is called burden complex. Now, you may be going, what the heck is burden complex? Great question. And how that might be different for CPTSD. Now, Rebecca, have you have you learned about, or did you learn about burden complex in school?
I don't really remember learning about burden complex in school, but I also I graduated college in 2002, and so I'm not sure how much CPTSD was information that was available to us. Um,
Good
yeah,
point.
so it's one of those things that I've just been kind of learning about as I after I got diagnosed, I kind of did a little bit of a dive into it, but there still even then wasn't a lot of information. That was about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And have just been kind of every time I see something new, I'm like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then I have to deep dive into it. If that makes
Oh,
sense.
yes. That deep dive. Oh, that is so true. That's what I call going down my squirrel holes.
Yes. Can't learn just a little bit, gotta know everything.
Yep, that's about
That's
it.
that's what happened with diamond painting.
Yes. And interesting enough, that is also kind of leads us into the burden complex, because that becomes something that we learn that we must know everything about anything, so we're not a burden for anyone. How would you describe burden complex?
Oh my goodness.
Now, just as a reminder, we're not the experts here, so you may have a different understanding, and that's okay.
Basically the part of burden complex that I always tend to take away from it is that you will avoid seeking help, you will avoid causing conflict, you will avoid asking for what you need, seeking what you need, you will avoid anything and everything in order to prevent yourself from being what you perceive as a burden on somebody else.
And one of the things that I think everybody on some level may think burden, this is more of an overly heavy burden.
Yeah, this
It is,
is feeling like you're you just have it's about there's this intense feeling and it really never goes away where you feel
mhm,
like you are always too much for other people, like you're taking too much of
yes,
their time, you're in too much of their space, you're being too nice or too generous or you're being too mean, like you're just it's always just feeling like you're too much for somebody.
yes, yeah. That is absolutely, I would absolutely agree with you there. And we learn that it's not inherent. And it can come from different interactions. Because as a baby, we cry because we have needs. But we learn that our needs are different. Different in the terms of significance, importance, necessity. The
I don't
burden
know that we learn
complex,
that. I think it's that we're taught, like somebody in our lives taught us that that's the truth, even though it's not really true.
yeah, yeah. So we learn it in terms of being taught. It's a kind of, it's kind of like role modeled, would you say?
Yeah, some role model. Well, I mean, it's somebody that's significant in your life that matters to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. So where are some of these beliefs located that we learn or we're taught not to be a burden?
I think it's one of those things where it could be circumstantial. Like if it's a parent, they may teach you that you're too much of a burden when you ask for any kind of emotional need, or it could be when you ask for any kind of physical need. Um, it could be a significant other that makes you feel like you're a burden for the same reasons. Um, Usually it's around some kind of need that you have, I believe.
Yeah,
That's my understanding of it.
that's my understanding of it. So I did do a little bit of looking at this. And one of the articles that I was reading, some of the areas that are most common, according to this article, can be from like parents who put themselves first, that what we need doesn't matter as much as what they need,
Mm-hmm.
and how they can use the authority to control rather than nurture children learning what their needs are. And that,
Hi, Mutt Nuts.
hey Mats, how you doing? How's the piggy girls? So that's one way.
I also think it could be like if you have a sibling that is favorited in the family.
Yes. And they can do no wrong.
Yep. And then
Or,
you are a burden every time you do anything wrong because you're always in trouble.
yeah. And yet they're okay and they get the support when they ask. And
They
sometimes
can do the
it's,
same thing as you.
oh, yeah. And I found that resonates because, like, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, yeah. We got conditioned so that if we knew something was coming up and it involved a certain individual, we would automatically jump into that role to assist. Even if we didn't know what the heck we were doing, we just jumped into it. Another way they talk about it is language of dismissal. So you come home from school and you would like some assistance with your homework. And your guardian sighs, rolls their eyes, later kind of pushes you off. And then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, well, I don't have time now, or I'm too tired. Well, you learned this in school. When I went to school, it wasn't like this. It's an inconvenience. Your need is an inconvenience. And I know for myself, I didn't ask my mom for help for homework because I'd have questions and she'd fall asleep on me. Like, this is so not helping me. Oh, you've got this. You've got this. Oh, I've had a long, busy day. I'm like, yeah, well, I've been at school all day. And then over time, you just stop asking, which is what I did. Because I knew I wasn't going to get the assistance that I needed. And in fact, I know for me, there was this one time in science No, this is not this one time at band camp, although I have many of those.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I went to band camp. That's another story.
Have you seen the movie to know what you just said?
Yep.
Okay.
I did. This one time at band camp. This one time in junior high, we had an assignment. And when I moved back to live with my mom, I had a hard time focusing. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't remember things. And I asked the science teacher if I could get some assistance. So we worked on it over lunch. Surprisingly enough, and I'd love to hear your insight on this if you have any, Rebecca, where I went, but every time we went to sit down and like each time we looked at one of the questions, my mind went blank, completely blank. And I found myself going, they're sitting next to me. They're actually sitting next to me outside of classroom time. I'm not sure if that was like surprise, like pinch me, but I couldn't focus on it. And they were starting to get annoyed because I couldn't remember. And I just wanted to get out of there.
There's a
So
term
it's kind
for
of
that.
it's mixed emotions when I think of that memory.
So there's a term, and I'm trying to think because it reminds me, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, like you get in your mind that this is what's supposed to happen, so you end up behaving in a way that makes that happen.
Yeah.
So in your mind, you weren't supposed to have somebody sit down and show you what to do. So when somebody did, you couldn't perform in a way that was needed to keep them there.
Interesting. Because I've when I think about it, it's just like, what the heck? And I hardly ever asked for assistance, if ever. So that's part of it. Hey, Momo, how you doing? Mutt says they are good, sleeping. I am somewhat okay, just feeling off mentally today. Have a lot of work I am behind on, and I got mental health kind of off day. But I am not letting it win. Okay. So, Mutts.
That's a very, very good mindset.
Yes. Great observation. Thank you for sharing with us. And you definitely are not alone. There are, I will say, I didn't want to get up out of bed this morning. And I'm like, nope, nope, nope. You got to get up. So I like how you are not going to let it win. That is awesome. Momo says, what did I miss? Just got off Troy's live. Oh, Troy was going live. Awesome. Now, I believe that's unbelievable blanks. If I am thinking of a different person, just let me know. We are talking about burden complex and how that might show up in complex PTSD. Okay, I got it right. Yay. So burden complex, as Rebecca was saying. Rebecca, do you want to do just a quick recap?
Of course, now
What?
my brain is blanking because you asked me. It's feeling like you're a burden on other people for anything and everything you do, and it could be anyone and everyone. So asking for help is hard. Needing assistance with anything is hard. And even talking about that need is hard.
Oh, yes. And it's very
Sum it up
true.
the same way or the right way, I don't remember.
Yep, nope. You did a great job. Great job. And someone may say, well, burden is a burden. Well, in this regards, it is a very heavy, over intense burden that you are feeling.
You almost feel like you're not worth being there. It's more than just being a heavy weight. It is literally, you do not deserve their support, their existence, your existence.
Yep. What was the terminology again? Burden complex. So BURDEN complex.
And it has to do with CPTSD because there is and I can't remember, I'd have to look it up, but I believe this term was coined because of a relation to a complex PTSD, but I'd have to look it up.
I believe that is correct from what I've read.
Because it stems a lot from different types of abuse and neglect.
Yeah. And it is taught. We're not necessarily born going, I am a burden, because as babies, we have needs and we communicate them through our cries.
Nope, somewhere along the way, somebody made you feel like you were not worth their time.
Yeah. Mutt says, just have to reset my goals I set that I did not meet this week and go from there and getting them done, even if it takes a few days or weeks from when I wanted them done. That's huge.
There you go.
That is huge. So you are not punishing yourself. You are not critiquing yourself. You are being flexible. That is
kind of like
huge.
when I came in here and Rhonda was like, I finished a whole row and I'm over here only on the next square over from where we were.
And you know what happened right then? Hi, Linda. When you said that, I was like, oh no, I shouldn't have said what I said. Oh no, please let me take it back.
Nope, don't take it back. I'm proud of you. And that's part of it. Like, you need to let other people be proud of you.
I'm like, no. Okay, my cheeks are going red from embarrassment now.
You've been like, you have this diamond painting mojo going right now. And I don't know, between the extremely large amounts of work that I'm doing and then all the projects that I've taken on. I actually threw a baby shower tonight and just
wow.
Yeah.
You've got lots of stuff going on.
I do.
Right? And
this week I'm in the middle of I do a project at work. It's teaching kids about self-control through the use of superhero information. And that's this week. So I've been helping out with that all week long too.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is why I haven't diamond painted. So I'm not sad that you're further along than I am. I'm proud of you, but also okay with my progress just because I recognize that I'm busy. And my dishwasher broke, so I've been having to do dishes by hand and that takes extra time. Like, Everything is just taking a little extra, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, so we were also talking about some of the areas where these beliefs begin and we develop this burden complex. One that we've talked about is when the parents put themselves first. They use their authority to control rather than nurture.
Hi, Linda. Thanks for the tears. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. And Momo, I'm not sure if I said hi to you, but hello. I don't mean to be rude. Sometimes I get fixated on something and can't remember what I've done. Anyway, back to the show.
Another one that we talked about was the language of dismissal. That's where we were talking about how the parents just don't have time for us. It's an inconvenience. We learn not to ask because it's not going to come. And then I gave an example of when I asked for help in science class on an assignment, and the teacher took time out of their lunch to sit with me, and I had brain fart. I had no brain power. And they were starting to get aspirated with me because I was not being able to recall. And in a way, I knew things were not going well, because I was like, oh my gosh, I think this teacher thinks I only want them to answer and finish my homework for me or my assignment for me, and that is actually not the case. And I was asking Rebecca regarding what her thoughts on that were, and she was saying that it kind of sounds like the self-fulfilling prophecy, where I'm going to set myself up for failure, which it possibly could have.
Well, so the question, I guess, comes in, do you believe you had some kind of burden complex before your interactions with your teacher?
Oh, I know I did.
Okay, then yes, that's what I would guess. I'm not a doctor, can't diagnose you with anything, but that's what I would guess was happening.
Yeah. And I would, okay, so I think another part of it is I would go really quiet around people in authority positions.
Oh, same. I still do. Anybody of any kind of authority, police officer, teacher, supervisor, anybody that has any kind of, yep.
Yeah. What I find interesting is all through school, I was like that. I literally, like, my brain would go blank. And they'd be like, how do you feel? I don't know. What do you mean feel? And they're like, this is not a trick question. I'm like, but it is a trick question. What is your motives? Another area it can come from is overwhelmed caregivers, where parents are already struggling with their own challenges, whether it's illness, finances, emotional, mental, whatever it is. And children often sense that any additional need would be too much. Oh, good point, Linda. Linda says could be anxiety of the one-on-one as well.
It could, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that all kind of goes hand in hand with the self-fulfilling prophecy. Like that's the anxiety of that moment is what kind of pushed you into that. But maybe not necessarily. I don't know. I
Yeah.
will say as a person who was um a, a, in a really bad situation with my ex-husband, I sometimes worry about this having left a kind of scar like this on my children because I was
Yeah.
in a really bad place and had to endure a lot of really bad things. And I do worry, you know, um, that I may have been one of the causes of for one of my kids for this. And that is not a settling thought.
That can be very hard, knowing that it may contribute, but also know you didn't do it intentionally.
Right. Well, and I've worked really hard um, since I got out of that situation to fix that and change it.
Mm-hmm.
I know my younger my girls, I believe they were young enough that I was possibly able to kind of, I don't know, rewrite that narrative, not narrative, but
Mm-hmm.
that idea. But I'm not sure that I was able to in my boys. So I don't know. But I'm also very open and honest with my kids. And so this is one of those things that I will probably actually talk to them about
Yes.
because I feel like when we can own up to things, it heals a lot of wounds that we don't even understand need healed. And so I'm hoping, I've had a lot of open and honest conversations with my kiddos, not necessarily about what I went through, because I don't want to talk to them about that very much, but
No.
about my behavior and and how, my position in their lives and what I've done. And I think I've been able to kind of help navigate that a little bit better for them than most people are able to, just
Well,
because
and
I have
then
the
you're doing
self-awareness to
it
do it.
afterwards, because in the moment, that's not where your focus is. That's not where your priority is.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. Like part of your brain is going, damn, I don't want this happening. But the other part is, I need to get out of here myself.
Yeah.
Right? Momo says it helped my daughter and I to go to therapy together, and it helped so much. Yeah. So it's interesting because just this past weekend, Sunday night, my husband and I usually sit down and we watch shows together. And he asked me what order do I want to watch shows. So I usually go like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter, go ahead. But this time I actually had a plan, and I was like, okay, we'll do this one, then we'll do this one, and then we'll finish it off with Star Trek New Discoveries, the latest one. And watching the episode, it reminded me of an episode with when Jean-Luc Picard was the captain of the Enterprise. And the episode is called Darmok. It's like my favorite episode. And it's basically these two different races. The captains of the ships, for both of them, get stranded on a foreign world that neither one of them is familiar with, except that the other species knows that there is a dangerous creature down there that can go invisible. So they did it to try and learn how to talk to each other. And I thought it was really cool because the other species talked in metaphors. So in terms of talking about love, we would say Juliet on the balcony. The love. Not,
Interesting.
oh, Juliet is in love. So they talked in metaphors. So I was really looking forward to this episode on this new one. It was a bit of a twist, and two pilots get sucked into this wormhole and land on this planet, but they don't know that each of them are there. It's a third species who arranges this. Long story short, the two species that get stranded discover each other, and they are like sworn enemies, and they need to learn to survive together, work together if they're going to survive. Well, the ending took a drastic turn, which I did not anticipate. And it triggered an emotional flashback for me. And I could not stop crying. And my husband's going, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm like, it's not you. My son comes down, he's like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And usually I say yes. And they're trying to comfort me, and it's not working. And they're like, would you like to get up and have a group hug? I'm like, don't touch me. Because I'm in that state. Once I calmed down, I went back and talked to them individually to try and explain to them that it wasn't them, that I don't know exactly what it's associated with. It's an emotional flashback, I get just severe emotions, and I see like a shadowy glimpse of a scene. And in this case, it was multiple scenes. And I was just like, it wasn't you. You didn't know. I know it's not real. I'm not back then. But it gets to that point where I couldn't communicate in the moment because of all of the information overload. So while you hope and wish that your kiddos aren't impacted, sometimes after, when things are calm, you can have more of an open conversation.
Yep. Yes, and I do. I do a lot of that. We talk a lot. I'm very open with my girls about, like I said, open with my girls about a lot of stuff, and I try to approach them. Actually, approaching them made me better at my job because it really taught me ways to speak to them in ways that they heard and understood.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. And in a way, do you think it helps you with your inners, like your inner people, having that?
No, because it's one of those places that I have learned that I struggle the most to let go of as far as regret goes. That is something I am constantly working on because it gives me, I have a lot of anguish over the things that I regret.
Yeah. Now, is it a regret or is it a guilt?
A little bit of both, I guess.
I feel for you. It's going to hold some safe space for you.
Well, thank you. And sometimes I've learned that if it's something that really truly has negatively impacted me, that I hold a lot of regret about, or guilt about, then I will actually bring it up to them more than one time and say, I need you to hear, like, how I need to know, like, I need that reassurance, which is probably not necessarily fair to them. But I wouldn't have done that when they were smaller. My kids are all bigger now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's not quite as bad. And it's only happened with one particular thing, where I've gone back and said more than one time, are you sure this was, like, do you need to talk to me about this? Is this something that you have any, anger about or sadness about, or, whatever. And they always are like, oh, it's fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
And those are the ones that
they don't know
usually
what's
are
going to impact them long term yet,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have you ever had a conversation with them in terms of, you may have noticed that when I'm feeling really intense about something, where I've either done something or I said something, I come back and recheck with you.
Absolutely. And I've had
say,
a conversation with them about it, saying this is the mature and emotionally responsible thing to do. And if you are, and it's great because my girls are very emotionally responsible with their friends. And I think the mistakes that I've made have been able to kind of teach them to be better people, better friends, better siblings. It ended up being a really good lesson for them in understanding. And they are also more accepting and understanding of their friends when they're having harder times too. And so their friends turn to them for support and advice, in ways that they don't do with other people.
That is amazing.
It's helped to give them some emotional maturity as well. I'm also a parent that absolutely 100% believes in apologizing to your children. I know some parents don't believe in that, but I don't believe that that's a good way to help regulate any person. And then you can't teach your children to apologize if you're not willing to yourself.
I love how you say that, because I was thinking about that. And I made it a vow to myself that I would teach my children to ask questions and to ask for respect, regardless of who the person is. That just because I'm an adult does not mean I have all the answers. And I'm not always right. I may think I am sometimes, but I may not be absolutely, I don't have all the information. So once I had my kids, it was, this is what I did. This is how I'm feeling about this. I was in the wrong. I behaved incorrectly. I'm asking you for your forgiveness. Can you forgive me? I'm not demanding them to give me forgiveness, because it's a choice. Whereas when I grew up, adults were right, children were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
I
And to
also
your
asked my
point,
kids about their feelings in that moment.
yeah.
And I talked to them about those feelings and what it means and what it signifies and how their body felt. Like I try really hard to give them a lot of tools to be able to navigate their emotions and their
Mhm.
feelings.
That's the other part of it is however you're feeling, it's not right or wrong. It's just that's how you're feeling.
Yep.
It's not good or bad. And I know it's been a bit of a challenge for us in our family life because it's like, that's not how you feel. And I'm like, no, don't tell them how they're feeling or not how they're not feeling. If that is how they're feeling, that's how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready to have a conversation, come see me and we will have a conversation about how you were feeling. Is there something I can do in that moment? It's interesting. So when you talk about that, Rebecca, you're talking about changing the path forward.
Yes.
And I'm realizing just as we're having this conversation that Sunday, when I had that emotional flashback, and after I calmed down and I went and talked to my son, he actually stopped what he was doing. He went and sat on his bed and he turned and looked at me, Mom, and he goes, Mom, is there anything I can do differently to support you in those moments? And I was like, what? No, actually, what you did was like right on par for what I needed. So when you're talking about that emotional maturity, it's giving them that opportunity to go, you know what? They're human too. And it's okay to have that conversation. You don't have to just hide it away.
Yep.
Momo says, my daughter has a better understanding on how to help her girls with feelings, emotions from us going through therapy and using tools with them. Yes.
Yeah. And I took my kids when they were a little bit littler, like they were smaller. I did therapy with like had them go into therapy and the therapist and I would sit and talk and we did a lot of that.
Mhm.
And so I did learn some from that, but then the rest of it has just been kind of navigating on my own. And I feel like my girls are all pretty well adjusted. They're all really good kids. I could not be more proud, honestly.
Yeah. It's, giving them tools and techniques for those situations is no different than giving them the tools and techniques on daily hygiene, mathematics, social interaction, routine. We all need them.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
So I just want to go back to the burden complex and look at a couple more other ways it can appear. Image conscious families. Don't make a scene. Don't embarrass the family.
Listen,
And
that
yeah,
can
go
come
for it.
from cultural or that can come from narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's probably other ways too, but those are the two that come in the top of my mind.
Yeah. I think too, another one for me is societal. In some cultures and in some societies, you can do it, and other, or depending on the age. Because some kids can get away with it, and you're like, oh, that's not fair. Oh, but they're only 2.
Yeah.
Well, they're only 5. They don't understand, right? And you're thinking, but when I was their age, I couldn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? When children become caregivers, the parentification forces children to bury their own needs. So that's more of when you're when you are in a situation where an intense interaction occurs and it's between parents and you're the one that's looking after the parent and pushing your needs down. Mediating conflicts, managing household responsibilities. Another way could be emotional blackmail. Is that something you would like to chat on or share?
That's not one that I've really examined, so
Okay.
I don't think I have enough to say on it to feel confident in it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Emotional blackmail, it's the overtly manipulative dynamics that occur when a child's honest expression of need triggers a parent's dramatic reaction, tears, self-blame, or withdrawal. The message is unmistakable. Your needs cause pain to others. So do not talk about that topic or do not do that action. Because when you talk about it, it causes me stress or it triggers me. And the child learns not to talk about it because now they are worried others will have a similar reaction. And they don't want to cause a burden. They don't want to cause pain. Perfectionism as survival. No, we were having this conversation before about me and my squirrel holes. I need to know how to do everything the right way. Because if I am trying to learn to cook and I make a mess, get screamed at for making a mess and not going, oh, you made a mess. Oh, not even you made a mess. It's, oh, okay, well, we're going to need to clean that one up as well, right? Doing it in a positive way. Okay, so this one time in the kitchen, I don't even know what I was doing. I was making something and I spilt something. And my first reaction was like, oh crap, I gotta clean this up before anybody sees it. And I was like, yay, I made a mess. And I remember my husband going, what? And I'm like, oh, I just spilt this. And he's like, oh. I said, oh no, like I spilt it. I did a really good job. It is everywhere. I think I was I blending? I had fruit of some kind in the blender. It was like rhubarb or blueberries or crab apples or something like this. And the lid wasn't on and it just went everywhere. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to laugh about it. I'm going to do the opposite. I knew I had to clean it up.
Isn't it so amazing how laughter can completely change your thought process in moments of stress?
Yes.
I have learned when like things in my life are getting super overwhelming and you're like, literally, can anything else go wrong? In those moments, I actually have learned that a deep belly laugh is so stress relieving.
Mm-hmm.
And I just laugh at
Mm-hmm.
the absurdity of it. Like, why would I be, first of all, the absurdity of the situation, but then second of all, why would I welcome additional anguish by saying, can this get any worse?
Exactly. Like you're opening the door.
Yep.
You don't need to open the door's already open.
Yep.
When you're talking about laughter, it is actually a really good endorphin release mechanism.
It is.
There was a group at a place I worked, there was a group, and after lunch they would do like a warm-up exercise. And I couldn't figure out what was going on because I'm at the front reception desk and I know they're going to go in. I know they're going to do their little warm up. And each person would do a warm up. They would rotate it. And this one day, I hear a single laugh, but it's not stopping. And then another laugh joins in. And then eventually, everyone in the room is like gut belly laughing, like, oh my God. And they're like, that was like one of the best exercises ever. I'm like, what did you guys do? They were just laughing, which I thought was like, I'd never heard of it before.
So you want to hear something interesting?
Yes.
My twins are, I don't know. My kids are just, like I said, I'm very proud of my kids. And one of my girls, she has learned that people ease and laugh more when somebody else is laughing in a way that is fun. And so she will sometimes, when she sees things going crazy, she will absolutely bust out this laugh that is just, I mean, everybody cracks up laughing. It is so hilarious. She doesn't do it often, but when she does it, it's almost like a, I don't even know, like a, I don't even know, like an animal kind of, like a donkey, like that.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't
You're
know.
snorting?
Almost. It's almost like a snort, but it's like a kind of sound. And there's no, you can't hear her and not laugh. You can't.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
she, and I, you know, she calls that, she tells me, like, people, that's her quote unquote real laugh. And she says she only ever gets like that when she's really deep belly laughing. But honestly, like, I think deep down, she knows it makes people laugh. And so that she does it on purpose.
Oh, that is hilarious. I love it. Love it. Yeah,
She's
because you're
incredibly aware of other people, though, like that. They're, her heart
and
hurts.
you
Her
just
heart
need
hurts for other
that,
people.
right? You just sometimes you have an individual that they just can sense the vibe. And it's like, okay, we need to change this up. But they do it in a way that is not obnoxious or attention grabbing. It just, and it's authentic. It's genuine.
Yeah.
Just to change it.
And I love it when she laughs like that. It just cracks me up.
You know what? I just realized you can't see my pen of where I'm diamond painting.
Oh, oops. Hopefully nobody's actually watching and they're just listening. Or, you know, they're taking turns watching between us, because there was a little while I was changing out the putty on my pen. That took me a hot minute.
I'm like, do. I'm making progress. I'm like, hang on. You see my tray. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay, we have a couple more. And I'm just looking at the time. So another one where a burden complex can come up or be seen in is family secrets. Listening and painting. Okay, great. Thanks, Linda. So family secrets. Don't tell anyone our business. Don't air the dirty laundry.
Mm-hmm.
What happens behind closed doors, stay behind closed doors. So teachers shown that needing help outside the family is shameful. Oh, there. That one's like a... that's a big shelf in my book. So this creates intense guilt about reaching out, even decades later when support is needed and is available and it's appropriate. Nope, everything's fine. The Smith family is doing A-okay when we're not. Reaction formation. If a parent appeared overly needy or played the victim, some children swung the opposite way. Yeah, that would be me. I still am relating to all these. I'll never be like them. And refusing to need anything from anyone. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this one fully. I think for me with this one, it is more of it's not that I see it more as I don't want to be like them because I can admit my mistakes. And I don't play the victim. I look for the positive or the challenge. Like, how am I going to change this? Whereas, and I mean, it might be situational. Because I'm like even to this day, if I bring up certain topics with my mother, it's, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you need to stop because, oh, you're being so mean to me. And I'm like, really? We need to be an adult here and have an adult conversation. That's the way I interpret it. Because I know my mom has a tendency, if she doesn't get her way or she doesn't get doted on, she almost uses her past experiences as, I almost said weapon, but and I'm like, no, that was then, this is now. You're not in that situation. You have a house over your head. You have food. You have clothing. You have somebody to live with. Oh, but I never get it. Oh, that's always so much better than what I had. And I'm like, it's never good enough. And then one of the other ones, we talked about it before, was the cultural levels or cultural layers. which are beyond the family dynamics. Many cultures reinforce the burdensome feelings through rigid social norms. Saying no to elders or authority figures is inherently disrespectful. Others absorb messages that self-sacrifice equals virtue, while setting boundaries signals selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
Culture beliefs often compound the personal ones, creating layers of guilt around the basic self-care. What begins as a survival strategy in childhood becomes a prison in adulthood, one where your own needs always come last. So when we look at burden complex, having that high cost of constant compliance can result in relationships suffer because we're too drained to truly connect. Health declines as we ignore our body's signals, so we don't know what's going on. Or what is that signal? I don't know what that signal is. Or you don't even see the signal. Resentment builds up where love should be. Oh, that would probably be me. Unintentionally teach our children the same harmful patterns. This is where we get the opportunity and the choice to make the decision to change the habits or patterns. Life passes us by while we tend to everyone else's needs. And then how can we change that? Start by noticing where no feels impossible. Perhaps it's a particular person or a certain situation. Maybe your body signals the conflict before your mind recognizes it. So when someone's asking you something and you just get this, something feels off. Your body's already noticing it, that sinking feeling in your stomach. Just when you're about to say yes. And then you can't say no because you've already said yes. Practice with small boundaries. I can't take that on right now. Let me think about it. So kind of.
That one's my favorite. Let me think about it. Because then I figure out ways to actually set up those boundaries.
I have a really hard time with that one.
See, that's why I like, let me think about it, because I'm not saying no. It allows me to say, I need a moment without feeling like a burden. And that's actually why I do a lot of that. Like, let me think about that.
That's a good way of doing it, though. And it's practice. These are small things in practice. It's not going to be like, oh, I got it. Yay. You're never going to get me to do it again. And if you don't succeed on the first time, don't beat yourself up. Take it as a learning opportunity. Oh, okay, well, that didn't work quite as well as I had hoped. I'm sure there'll be another opportunity somewhere in the future. It's not like we're looking for them, but it's an opportunity. When guilt arises, and it will, remind yourself, this discomfort is the feeling of growth. The anxiety will pass, and with each boundary, it will weaken. And when we do those, we discover that relationships can withstand our honesty. We find people that often respect us more, not less. When we're clear about our limits, we regain energy for what truly matters to us, learning what we like, what we don't like, where do we want to spend our energy, how do we refill our cups. we model healthier behaviors for those we love. And we learn that our needs matter simply because we exist, not because we've earned the right to have them. I really like that one.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So I'm just noticing we are about half or a quarter past the hour.
Okay. Do you want me to do the grounding technique?
Yes, please.
Okay.
One more down, and I'm going
So
to do this.
the grounding technique that I'm going to show you guys is my own take on the 5 senses grounding technique, because I don't necessarily think it works for me. But the way I've tweaked it does. And I've learned it also works for a lot of other people. And so I try and share it when I can. So we all want to know what our 5 senses are. And so I tell specifically kiddos when I'm working with them, I tell them you have 5 fingers on one hand and 5 fingers on the other hand. Your 5 on your right hand are your senses, and your 5 on your other hand are your lungs. And so what you're going to do is you're going to start with your thumb, which is in your ear. And you're going to stop and close your eyes, and you're going to listen and think about something that you can hear in the area and really focus in on what it is that you can hear. For me, mine is the humming of my refrigerator or even the crickets outside. And I kind of think about what that sounds like and how it makes me feel to be able to hear that. The crickets make me think of spring, or sorry, fall. Wrong season. Makes me think of fall and the cool, crisp weather that's coming in and the trees changing and how beautiful that is. I try to focus on that. And then I use my left hand and I take a deep breath in and I take a deep breath out. And then I move on to my index finger on my right hand. My index finger on my right hand is my sight. So I take a moment and I look around and I focus on something very specific. I have to find something that kind of makes me think, maybe makes me feel a certain kind of way. So like I have popcorn ceiling. I don't like popcorn ceiling, but I always kind of laugh when I see it because I always wonder, like, why did people start that in the first place? It's such an odd thing to do. And I kind of focus on that until my brain kind of processes that. And then I go back to my left hand and I deep breath in and deep breath out. So then I move on to my middle finger on my right hand, and my middle finger on my right hand is touching my nose. And so I kind of think for a moment about something that I can smell. So if that means I need to go find something, like for me, I will typically just grab whatever is I'm wearing on my arm and smell what's on my sleeve, because our clothes tend to smell really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I take a breath in and I just kind of let that feeling of the smell kind of wash over me and kind of focus on how my body feels when I take in that deep breath, what the scent kind of reminds me of. And then I'll go back to my left hand, take my deep breath in and deep breath out. And then my ring finger is my taste. My ring finger on my right hand is my taste buds. And so I often will find something that I think about something that I enjoy eating, and just think about how I feel in that moment when I eat it. Not necessarily think about what it tastes like or how, maybe even think about like if there was texture to it, and if I'm having a hard time imagining it, which I know some people do, I will actually find something like a piece of chocolate or just even a drink of water, because drinks of water is amazing when you're dysregulated. The cold water will kind of reset the flow of your blood. And so I'll take a drink of cold water sometimes and I'll think about like the feeling of it going down my throat and into my belly and how that feels, how refreshing it is and how amazing it is to have that water, right? And then I'll go back to my left hand, take my deep breath in and deep breath out. And then I go back to my right hand and I do my final sense, which is my sense of touch. And I will find something that has texture. It could be my clothes. It could be my diamond painting and the bubbles on it, the little pieces of plastic on it. Whatever it is, I touch it and I really kind of allow my body to connect with what it is that I'm touching. I allow my body to kind of, I'll close my eyes even and I'll just think about the texture of it. Sometimes like I go, is it smooth? Is it rough? Does it feel weird underneath my fingertips? Does it make my body tingle? Because sometimes you can run your hand over something and it makes your body, mine shivers a little bit, specifically with certain fabrics I don't like. Kind of think about that. And then I go back to my left hand and I do my final deep breath in and final deep breath out. And usually by the time I've done that, I'm at least centered enough that I can focus on what it is that I need to do and be able to move forward.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, Tom. Tom says, I think popcorn ceilings are supposed to sound dampening. No idea if they actually do. Oh,
Sound
now I need to
dampening,
figure that one out. That is
Yep.
interesting.
I
I
would like to know.
often wondered why we have popcorn ceilings, because I don't like them either.
And they're so, like, when you can't just like scrape them off, they're toxic. You have to, like, there's a whole process to it.
Oh, believe me, we moved into this place and I said to my husband, I want the popcorn ceilings gone before we move in. We moved in. They remained. And at the time, my son had a bunk bed, and he would climb to the top one. And every time he woke up, he'd sit up and hit his head on the popcorn ceiling.
Oh no.
And we'd look at the ground and I'm like, what is this white stuff on your floor? Oh, you hit the ceiling again, didn't you? I'm like, that is hilarious. It's not funny, but it's funny. So here go.
So
What is the
I don't
purpose
remember
of
who it was
popcorn
last week that had a problem with, I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you. I'm having a hard
No,
time
you
hearing
go
it.
for it.
We had a friend last week that had a hard time visualizing things, and I don't remember
Yes.
who that was, but I'm hoping that this technique helps.
Yeah. And I know when you showed me this one, what I like to do is I actually like to have all of those items around me.
Yes, if
So
you can.
I can actually, because I'm very tactile. So when you said about smell, I'm like, ooh, I wonder if my bubbles have smells. Because yes, I have bubbles. Like, water. I've got my water. Okay. So for everybody who wanted to know about the purpose of popcorn ceilings, cost-effective method for hiding imperfections in ceilings and to provide sound absorptions.
Okay.
They also offer some basic fire resistant and acted as an inexpensive way for builders to save on labor and finishing costs, making them popular from 1930s to 1990s.
All right. Interesting.
Well, I don't know if they were cost effective, because if you scrape a piece, you actually have to get specific popcorn paste and sponge to put it back up there to fill it in. And they're really dirty.
Or you take it as an opportunity to just completely get rid of it.
Easier said than done.
It is so much easier said than done. I help my parents do it in their house.
I thought I would motivate my husband by, okay, so I have this tendency to wait for the family to go away on a weekend, specifically like baseball tournaments. And if I'm home, I will start activities around the house.
Oh no, you're a project starter when you have no support.
My thought is, if I get it started, he's not going to like it. So he's going to have to say yes to help me finish it. So the basement stairs, I thought I would start there. I thought I'd just do like a small section and try and take the popcorn ceiling off of the stairs. Oh my gosh. If I was going to do that, I should have done like a little section on level floor, not on a staircase. Also, make sure you can actually reach it. Being 5'4" on an angle is kind of tough.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And it's really messy.
It's
really
so messy.
Very messy.
You have to have a face mask.
Oh, yes. I am Caucasian, but I look like a snowman when I was finished. I was covered in dust everywhere. So the only place in our house that doesn't have popcorn ceiling is the basement stairs.
Oh, that's so funny.
Tom says you don't want to finish the edges of the drywall on insulation as carefully. It's probably where the cost efficiency comes in. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because when the boys were gone one other weekend, I removed our wood burning cast iron fireplace.
Oh my goodness.
And I took it apart bit by bit and I got rid of it. That was the easy part. Fixing the wall, not so well. I dragged my neighbor in. I'm like, hey, can you take me to Home Depot? I need to go get some drywall and some tape and some putty, some sanding paper.
Oh,
sure, no problem. So that's what we did. My husband and son came home and they're like, and of course I have a ferret, so I had to get the wall up, which I did by myself, hence asking, because I didn't want Dipper going through the wall, our ferret. So I had to get the wall up. And of course, our building was built in the early 70s. We're on a hill, so the house has slanted, so it wasn't very easy. But
oh my gosh.
I can't leave you alone. I'm like, nope.
You are seriously making me very grateful that I'm not that kind of project starter. Like, I will happily join in and help on projects, but man, I am not. Nope. I know better. I will get in over my head way too fast.
Oh yeah. I cut all my sprouting roots up out of my yard and rearranged all the rocks, and my husband's like, we have a new backyard. Yep, we do. Oh, you want to see my water fountain out of the big ceramic flower pots I made? If it can be done, I will find a way. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah,
I'm down to one symbol.
What? Did you?
I have one symbol left.
Yay!
So I almost finished my second square.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, I've got wait, did you see my my trash minder? So it actually has a magnet on it. Has a hole in the top. And it has all my trash stuff in it.
That's nice.
Zodiac shadows. And you can pick whatever color you want. And let me get the lid back on.
That's really nice. So you could put it on your canvas, or you could put it in your screw top bottles.
Well, I that's what I was doing, but then I was finding myself going from one kit upstairs to downstairs for another kit, and I'm like, screw this. Oh, and then I just dumped them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I thought I would pull this one out. I ordered that just before summer, and I got it. And then I have, you know how they have the roll holders, the canvas savers?
Yeah.
Well, this one is from Zodiac Shadows, and it's a smaller one, and it literally is like this.
Oh, wow.
And it works wonderful. Okay, now that I've taken it off. Uses the same principles, and then it just goes back on.
Nice.
So that's what I'm working on tonight. Okay, we are almost at an hour and a half. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah. Please do hit the like button here and over at Sparkle Sanctuary. We will find a way to be able to connect both of our channels together on both channels. Live streaming, yeah. Please consider subscribing. We will be doing another one of our mental health musings next Tuesday at 9 p.m. We will continue talking about complex PTSD because it is that month of awareness. And it is important. A lot of people have trauma. And we are just going to have a peer-to-peer conversation. And then check out Rebecca's channel, Sparkle Sanctuary, because she is a blinger. She likes to bling her canvases up. I'm slowly getting there. I will be going live tomorrow night as my per usual time. And I am going to be trying beading.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Loom beading is what I have.
Very
so
interesting.
I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But I love beads. So I think I'm going to start getting into more beading work. Yes. So in the comment section for the actual videos, what should we have them share with us?
I don't know. Let's see. Just like an emoji, or like, you mean like a symbol?
We could do an emoji and put it in a sentence about. Okay, my brain just farted. Oh, you caught that reference. How do you feel now? My brain just went.
Well, I think there's, like there's a lot of like, I don't know, flowers or something, because I don't think CPTSD has like an actual symbol.
No, they don't have a symbol. They do. It's more of like a blue teal. It's more of a bluey color of a ribbon, but they don't have a symbol.
Okay. So maybe like a bluey kind of flower or a ribbon, either one. Because I don't know that there's a blue ribbon. I don't have a blue ribbon emoji.
No.
So awesome news. I just hit 500 subscribers.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
That is
Yay.
awesome. So in the comments, give a shout out and a celebratory emoji to celebrate Sparkle Sanctuary. Yes. That will be my glimmer.
Awesome.
Linda says, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's
Okay.
so exciting.
I love moving on a happy note.
I do too. That's so exciting.
That is awesome. So thank you all for being here. I've got my little seahorse now. That squirrel moment. See, Tom's celebrating you too. Yay! Please have a wonderful day wherever you are, doing whatever you're doing. Remember, you're doing the best you can with what you have in this moment. You've got it. Thank you. I love my seahorse. We will be sending you guys good vibes, safe space, and we will see you next weekend. Bye.
See you next week, everybody. Bye.